And good morning there, funky rude dude. CJ, how you doing? Mr. Bodine. I just realized something weird happened last night. Because this was nowhere near these numbers last night. I have no idea how I suddenly have 10,000 labor and 60,000 electricity. Because last night I had like 20,000, 26,000 electricity maybe saved up. This was like 10. I had some morale and support, but not nearly that much. And now, for some reason, it's completely maxed out. No idea. Got nothing. I was just checking up on things this morning and was like, that doesn't seem right. But how is everybody this morning? Yeah, I'm not gonna complain. It's just threw me for a loop because that's not what I was expecting. Because last night I managed to work on some of my. I got two of my fields harvested last night. These two here needed to be harvested last night, so I got that done. Um, these are getting ready to come due. I've got, of course, some of the orchards that are working through. I was doing some various missions to make a little extra money. I picked up a potato contract I'm getting close to finishing. This morning I actually... How's it going there, Mr. Big Vito? I went and put an update out for the trigger boxes on the gates, so that if you're using the animated objects script, or mod rather, you can now get in and out of the gates without them hitting you. So I did update that this morning. Other than that, I've just been kind of up since about 6:30 because the wife and children and everything. Good morning there, Mr. Hyam. 17 months. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it immensely. How are you doing today? Guessing that's scurvy I heard coming into chat this morning. Was it? It was. His mic's probably being weird.
Yeah, I gotta switch over from Yeti mic to headphone mic.
There you go.
Yep. Doing well. How you doing out there?
I've been up since, for like 3 hours now.
Yep.
After I didn't go to bed until like 1:30 this morning.
I figured you might have been had a late night.
And then yeah, I've been trying to run a backup on my Empyrean server to one of my spare hard drives, and yeah, that's taking forever. So if things get a little wonky with my connection, I've got FileZilla running, and I'm nearing the end of the first pass, but then I have to run a separate pass on it. This transfer is just over 30,000 files.
Just a few. 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, just a few. Just a few.
So, it's nearing the end, but I stopped it midway because I wanted to change which drive it's going to. So I've currently got 2 separate drives open, trying to get everything to my... Literally, this is just a backup drive. There's nothing on it, so I'm moving it all there instead of keeping it on one of my other hard drives. And yeah, it's just taking forever. So once FileZilla stops, I'll have to switch everything over and do that, but yeah. I also did a BIOS update this morning on the computer. It's not the most recent version of the BIOS that's out from my board, but the most recent version is it's still in beta. So I was like, I'll go to the one
Yeah, no.
prior to that. Thank you for that hydrate there, Mr. Vito.
I bricked my board with a bad BIOS update. I was not a happy camper.
Well, I got worried at first because I did the BIOS update, and update complete. Alright, reboot. And then it immediately goes... Well, no, it goes, reboot with what? What do you mean reboot with what?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, when the BIOS updated, it forgot the fact that I had settings, you know, for the AMD overclocking that goes on the board, or on the chip. It forgot 3 of my 4 hard drives.
Well, at least they got one of them.
Well, yeah, but not the one with Windows on it.
Not the one with, of course, because it's not going to be the one with Windows on it, because that's the most important one. For frick's sake, yeah.
It literally got one of my HDD backups that has basically almost nothing on it. That's the only one it remembered. So then I go in and I'm like, all right, re-enable this SATA connection, that SATA connection, go down to the M.2s. What do you mean there's no M.2s? Go over to another screen. Well, it says they're there on that page. Why aren't they there on the SATA connection page? Because it lists the M.2s at the bottom, but it wasn't actually listing a drive as being plugged into the M.2. I'm like, what in the hell's going on?
Yep.
That's a big field. So I finished doing a bunch of those settings, tweaked everything, save and exit, and then it kind of boot cycled like 3 times and popped to the Windows screen. And, okay, fine. See ya. Done. I ain't gonna mess with it right now. I'm still throttling because of the voltage, but oh well. When you've got a video card that wants a 750 watt power supply, and then your processor is recommended to have at least a 750 watt, couple them together, yeah, I probably need to be more than just a 1000 watt power supply I've got. But if I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna do another case. I'm gonna do, because the cable management in this one's not easy to do. And I just really don't want to do all that right now. Oh, where was I? That's right, I gotta pick up bales off of this. God dang it. Straw bales. And last night I'd been looking for a decent, like, low boy, because I didn't want to drag the other one that I've got. And I couldn't come up with one, so I said, heck with it. I'll just stick with this one. And I was looking at the amount of XML work I need to do to get this thing fixed properly. And that was, it made my head hurt this morning, so I didn't want to tackle that project yet.
I don't blame you.
Well, I have to rewrite about 2/3 of the configuration section of the XML. That way, when you're on, like, for example, the truck fifth wheel, it doesn't actually load in any of the configurations for the... How's it going there, Master Mika?
Hey, Master
It
Mika.
won't load in the other configurations. Like, this thing has a fill volume on it right now.
Yep.
If I do the... And I'll show you what I mean. Not that. Not this one. Here. If you look at this configuration set, this is on one of the in-game tipper trailers that has a flatbed option. So what they did was they do a configuration set so when it's in the flatbed option, it has one fill volume. When
Yep.
it's in the loading wagon version, it has a different fill volume. So when you scroll all the way down to your fill volumes, you'll see right here, fill volume, there's a configuration where it has a fill volume, and then a blank configuration. So when it's a bale trailer, it's loading this, so it won't actually show a fill volume.
Ah.
When it's in the, same thing with the fill unit configurations. You see there's two configurations here.
Yep.
One has a bulk of 8,000, one has a bulk of 0, and then it hides collisions and wall pieces when it goes into the flatbed option.
Ah, nice. Okay, so
So,
that's how they did it.
yeah, that's how they did that. But it means on the Western Star, I have to set one of these up and rearrange this whole section right here. Has to be moved and rearranged so that these things load in their correct areas, like with the dump bed, triggering on the collisions and things like that. Uh, all of that has to go in to all of those other different fields, and the problem is when Fummins initially, where is it? When he initially transferred this to 22 from 19, where is it? He used that configuration section that I need to use for the trailer hitch. So I need to rearrange even further the configuration options and do a whole lot of stuff. And I said, I really don't want to tackle that right now. So I didn't. And Dave wants me to try and I saw that. I'll check it out a little bit later. Um, so yeah, I'll get around to it at some point. Just not right now. And of course, this was all done without the other auto load script, so it's on the old version.
Yep.
Alright. There we go. Hold on one second. I gotta... There we go. Still trying to pay attention to all of the good stuff that's in the, What in the heck? Wow, that's pretty impressive that it's flipping the bales around like that. Never used to do that.
Huh.
Well then. Yeah, that's new. Alright, we're gonna do it a different way then, because that's annoying.
So I
That's
was
very
listening.
annoying.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was listening to more commentary after jury was selected, after the two alternates were dismissed last night.
Yeah.
See what happens, but from what commentary I'm listening to, pretty hopeful ruling in favor of Depp with sub money amount. So we'll see what happens next week.
It'd be cool.
Yep.
Excuse me. Get a good bail trailer just for picking them up out of the field and getting them lined up. The biggest woo, thank you for the follow and welcome into the channel. How are you doing today? Alright, customize this back to a dump truck. 'Cause that's how I like it. We hook up to this thing and get the water topped off because I went through a bunch of water. Oh, of course you'd forget that it had a trailer hitch on it. I hate it when it does that. Freaking bug. There. Eat shit. Oh, thank you for gifting that tier 1 sub to Aussie Kanga there, Mr. Vito. I do greatly appreciate that. Alright. Will you let me use this stupid thing now?
Probably not.
No, probably not. There. Something else I gotta do is fix the default options on a bunch of these things. Yeah, like, I'm still... I don't even know what you guys have been using for, like, half the mods anymore, so I was like, yeah, well, I'll figure it out. Eventually, somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm using pretty
Like, as far as,
stuff.
like, the dev controls or whatever, or any of that stuff right now.
I'm not using any easy dev controls or anything like that, so I'm vanilla. I just have super strength through the lumberjack mod.
Yeah, see, I've got Lumberjack.
Yep. There's an
How's it
update
going
to
there, MacGyver?
that. Hey, MacGyver.
And then, like, I've got the, what is it there, the one that gives you the F12, so you can do
I thought
that.
that was easy dev controls.
Um,
Is that, or is that
Power
something else?
tools.
I can't remember. Power tools, there we go. Well, I was close, right? Good enough for government work.
And then going through and, like, right, I've got a whole bunch of mods I need to fix for, or swap out for, I went from Fent to Deer on the farm. So swap out all of the Fent stuff with Deer mods and what's good and what's not. And
Funny enough, I went backwards. I went from Deer to Fent. So I've got Fent.
a Fenting you will go.
Offenting, I will go, and that was the exact terminology I used for that. So.
Yeah, there were certain like tractor ranges I could never settle on a good, or I could never get settled on a good mod that didn't have a bunch of issues for me. So it's like, well, I know
Yeah.
I can. This thing does not want to turn when you're going high speed.
I mean, I'm using old base game tractors right now for Fen. I think they're all base game.
Great demand at the debris crusher. That's my second great demand in like 6 hours in game. The last great demand was gold.
Ooh, did you have any gold?
I had 5 bars.
Ooh, there's some good money.
Yeah. And then I'm sitting back like, well, is there any good, like, hay dryers or anything like that, so I don't have to TED,
Ah, it's not that hard.
I know it's not, it's just, I hate the way the tedder works unless you have a tractor that does not have the US 3-point on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, well, how can I deal with this? You know?
I wish they would have a swather that could do the tedding for you.
Yep. Alright. You're about full, so I gotta get up here and... Alright, so that should be there. You are now empty. Close that, go back over here. And let's get this doing its correct pass. There we go. Really? There we go. There, that should take care of... Oh, come on. I hate you. Why are you doing this? Sometimes I really hate FileZilla.
Uh-huh. I think we all do at some point.
Boom's got a good one on the site. What? Hay dryer?
I think he does in the mod section there.
Yeah, no offense, but I'll look for another one. Andy's modding. I have to look for that one. No, stay put. Let me empty that thing. FS22 AM mods productions. Is it on the mod hub or is it on one of the other websites? Third party? Alright. I'll take a look for it at some point. There we go, there's that one. should probably... Oh, not that button. You're hooked up to the baler. You've got the cultivator. Alright. Let's get this out. Do-do-do-do. Really? I really need to switch out that stupid green thing at some point. Ba-ba-bum-bum. 90. Alright. Are you gonna be done and not be stupid now? Okay, thank you. Stupid FileZilla. I know this is all gonna change and be irrelevant once I get to precision farming, but whatever. I didn't want you to fold, I just wanted you to lift out of the ground, you dummy. Their way to get this activate Windows watermark off your screen? Yeah, they should have activated your Windows correctly when before they gave you the computer, Mike. Otherwise, you need the Windows activation key to correctly activate Windows, and then it would go away. Alright, get this thing turned around. So let me get this straight. They got your computer all ready for you, transferred everything from your hard drive to the new one, but never activated Windows before doing that. That's a fail. Somebody half-assed that file transfer. PC Repair 101. Don't tell the customer the thing's ready until it's ready. Right, Scurvy?
Yeah, that would do it. Yeah, that would do it. But
Exactly, Zodiac. Discount!
yeah, basically.
Heck, at this point, I'd make them come out to you and fix it.
Yeah, I would. In there.
That sounds like a cracked key and not the actual
Oh, Windows key. Yep.
Windows key, which they've gotten pretty smart about keeping you out of that now.
Well, I mean, you
How's
can
it going,
also
Poppies?
get if you're in a bind, just pick up a copy of the whatever OS they installed on eBay, and you can get those licenses for dirt cheap on there too that are valid. That's usually
Yeah.
how I always buy my Windows license these days, and I'm talking like under $10, and you'd be good. But the fact that you have to do it, that yeah, that doesn't seem quite correctamundo by any means.
No. I mean,
Poor form, very poor form.
that should have been squared away. Well, if you've got a key, then you just need to activate it with that key, but you shouldn't have to go through all of that, considering...
You might. It might require activation again in there. Don't know.
But...
Give it a shot. I mean, that would be a good first shot to try for,
From what I understand, when Mike got this particular computer, it had 11 on it. He had them switch it back to 10, transfer his files over, and when they did that, they never activated the Windows. They skipped the step.
Windows, no. Windows will detect if it's been moved for reactivation because it detects new hardware. Hard drives could do that in there.
Yes, but they didn't bother to verify
They
after doing their transfer.
They should have. Yeah, they should have done that on their side.
In other words,
but I would try your key again, so see what happens.
Yeah, in other words, they skipped a step.
Yeah.
PC Repair 101. Make sure it's actually fixed before you give it back to the customer.
Yep.
Steps were skipped. Alright, we're gonna get this worker going on the stones. Go monitor... Ooh, excuse me, this guy. Are you done now? Can I straighten this all out? Dan222000111, thank you for the follow. Welcome into the channel. How you doing this morning? Yes, recycle, thank you. Da-da-da-da. Now let's try this again. FileZilla was being dumb. There we go. Now I'll let you run and see how long it takes you to transfer all the files. Yeah, this particular contract I've got to bring to Goldcrest, but I had 20 cake potatoes in the Grain West silo already. We'll do some quick math before we turn this in to make sure I get some of the potatoes back, and then we'll drop them all off at McCain's, because I put McCain's down yesterday.
Nice.
I also had my government building screw up.
Huh.
In my favor. Yesterday, I had approximately 26,000 stored electricity, some support morale, and about 15, maybe 20 labor points in here.
Yep.
It's now telling me I've got 65,000 stored electricity, support morale and labor distributing are all full.
Dave did update values in there for the government building.
Yes, but I didn't sync
Not
last
to
night.
that. Oh, I don't know.
And I only had about 15 labor waiting to distribute.
Yep. Well.
Whatever.
Yep. Hey, it works in your favor, so I wouldn't complain too much. So.
No, because last night I was like, well, I've got to add more houses now because I'm running out of labor, and
Yep.
obviously it's been forever, and I know values have been adjusted and tweaked and stuff like that. No big deal. I'll just make some adjustments.
Yep.
I got the biomass heating plant in yesterday after stream. I
Nice.
added like 3 more houses in this little cul-de-sac up here. So now I've got 5 houses up over here. I've got a house down here in town. And then I've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 houses over here. At some point I need to start expanding and things, but I was looking like after I sold the gold last night, I was pretty close to being able to buy this property here, and I'm like, oh, all right, well, I'll get 73, and then I'll make a field here. Not a bad purchase for this piece of property, but I ended up instead putting down McCain's. I was gonna put down one of the other, the exotic oils factory, but I couldn't find a spot that it fit. Speaking of which, I should probably come over to the Plywolf pallets. Why are you sitting out here? Whatever. I don't know, I don't get it. It's weird. Eh? Coco, you should be distributing. Maybe it's because I kind of fast-forwarded through a night without actually sleeping through the night. Maybe that did
I'm
it all.
wondering. Maybe that did something there. Yeah, that could do it.
I had it at like 120 speed, and I just kind of went through the night.
Yep.
Maybe that did something, who knows. Oh yeah, because this thing's now empty on diesel. And I just filled it up. The only thing I don't like about the Phoenix TLX pack is it takes forever to start the truck to be able to drive it.
Oh, I know. It takes. I don't know why he did that, but whatever. Whatever.
Go deliver some fuel over there, I guess, and... It makes a decent looking fuel truck, though.
Yep.
How's it going, Tristan? That was Scurvy that said you should get a cheap copy of Windows.
Yep.
Good to hear, Tristan. I think Scurvy just said eBay or something.
eBay. Yep. I just checked the reviews on it, just make sure it's valid and stuff like that. But they'll send you an electronic code like within the hour or so. That's how I bought the license for this PC in there, and I've never had an issue with anything for activation on it. Just check the reviews.
Is it just the cat engine that does that weird startup? Because I wasn't sure when I was buying the mod. Because I'll sell the truck and get a different engine if it'll stop it from doing that whole lengthy startup process. I didn't really know what the differences were, so I just picked one. Okay. Let's go trade this truck in then. This is the TLX Phoenix. I wonder how different the sounds are on the other ones. Yeah, it's just back to another game. I'm sure like any game, so what? You stupid car. I'm sure like any game, I'll play a whole bunch of it, and before you know it, I'll get bored of it and move on to another one for a bit. That's right. This thing here needs to get gone. I don't need it. Lee. Go over there.
Alright, I think I'm going to step away for a bit there, Darius.
Alrighty.
I will see you guys later on.
Yep. Yes, it's from 82 Studios, Mike. Alright, let's see. Trucks. Detroit or Cummins? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I choose you. It's right off the in-game mod hub, Mike. That one. With that one. None of those. That one. I had done that one, I think. Heavy duty 2. That was 2. US double. That one. That one. Yeah, the TLX Phoenix pack is by 82 Studios. I wonder what the Cummins one sounds like. Let's see what the Cummins one sounds like. Rigid, it was the... That one. That one. Was... Dang you. I think that's the one I had originally. What do you mean now you don't see the mods? Yeah, hello.
Hello.
How you doing there, Mr. NBC?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Still kicking.
good this morning?
Same old, same old.
Cool. Pompies, how we doing? Any new updates? Nope. Don't look like anything.
I don't know, Mike. Maybe they missed something when they did the transfer.
Not doing too bad, Pompies. Not too bad at all.
Not too shabbily shabby.
Yeah. Today I'll do a couple of things around the house, but I might actually sit down and play a game. I don't know. We'll see. Or I might jump right into my next project.
Next project, eh?
Yep. Talked about converting, so we had a baseline for 16x.
Oh, yeah. How are you, Michael?
Hey, Michael.
Goodbye. Stupid truck. What in the hell are you doing over here? You are like 10 miles from the friggin' field you're supposed to be on. Last I checked, this field is not the potato field 3 fields in that friggin' direction yet. Dummy.
Of course it is. Or at least he's going to make it that way for you.
Sometimes I swear they made the AI worse just to troll everybody.
Yeah. Tell you what, Courseplay is working really good this year. I just started using it in the last week or so because of things like that. Because a lot of times, you know, the fields are close. You want to maximize your fields and maybe only leave a path through the middle to be able to drive on. And Courseplay definitely has made a difference.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten into Courseplay or Auto Drive on this version of Farm Sim.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been using Auto Drive and everything. Of course, I don't get into it as much as I mean, I use it to, you know, drive from one point to another, stuff like that. Um, and I just started using Courseplay really in depth the last week, and I like them. I do. And with them, the way that they built them in, remember how taxing it used to be on your frame sometimes? I don't see that
Yeah.
this time around.
Oh, that's good.
Of course, I say that, but yet, I got twice the computer that I did last year too. So,
Well, that, and we know that basically the only real difference is the occlusion culling.
well, and the multi-thread, but
It's the same number of threads they used last year.
no, it's not. They used one thread last year. I can pull up
Uh,
19 and look at it.
all you have to do is look at the
Log file.
log file, and it still shows the exact same 3 threads last year as it does this year.
See, mine doesn't. Mine shows 2 this year, 1 last year. But that, and the other thing that has changed is the way that it's built into the I don't want to say it's built into the base game,
See, look,
but it seems like they've made it
FS19
more part of.
log threads 2, but you scroll down here to where it starts into this. Started 3 threads for thread pool, render pool. So they used 3 threads last year. And
If
then
you had
when,
them, yes.
well, yeah, but
Not everybody.
that's a core and a half.
Right.
And then in this year, when you look at it, they moved it, but it's still the same 3 threads.
Yeah.
Because up here it shows 2 threads, just like it did in 19. Then it starts 3 here. And then there's another one here for unique worker, but it's still basically
Right.
just the same
It's
3
still the same.
threads.
Yeah. Yep.
All they did was change around where things were located in the log file.
Yep. Well, that's why when everybody was like, "Oh, it's multi-core," I'm like, they've never said multi-core, so I'd be careful with that.
Yeah. And they claim multi-thread, but again, when you look at how it runs, it's the same as it was in 19. The
Basically,
only real difference is the occlusion culling.
right. Right.
Because and you can tell when you go up to a building in 19 to block your view, your would you stop it, you stupid piece of... I hate this damn thing at times. Not hitting the H key, you stupid shit. How's it going, T. Miller? Of course I did this, but when I hit Control V, it didn't actually lower the tools like it was supposed to.
Right.
That's good to hear, T. Miller. Winston is still working on mods, but he had a big issue with his Twitch account. Now he's Winston9857 underscore, I believe.
Hey, T. Miller, how we doing, bud?
And for those that missed the beginning of the stream, I did update my decoration pack to better work with the automated animated map thingamabob mod. Whatever the hell the name of the damn thing is.
Object animated some crap or whatever.
Yeah, the automated animated objects.
Yes.
I adjusted all of the triggers so that they work a little better with the with that mod. this can now go back to the farm. I got almost no sleep. It's gonna be a nappish kind of day, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the wife and kids have gone down to the botanical gardens for whatever reason. So I'm by myself, but that meant they got up at like 6 o'clock this morning so they could start getting ready to leave.
Oh.
Which meant the fact that I hadn't slept really all that well didn't matter. Their noise woke me up. As it was, I didn't finally go lay down until like almost 1 o'clock this morning. And couldn't go to sleep until close to 2-ish, sometime after 2.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go get my sugarcane topper. I'll send you up there. I'm gonna jump into this truck. Let's see, 57-ish. With everything I got going on, yeah, it's not bad on this map. Ah, you stupid tree. Thought I'd make that. Guess not. I'm on Wolf Creek 4X by Dajnet. Alright, get rid of these potatoes. Potatoes. What did I just... That's not the button I clicked. Alright, let me get my 20k back out of here that I had sitting in this thing. Potatoes, where are you? I had about that many in there. That's fine. Stupid autosave. I just want to go over to this thing. Alright, go put this away. It's almost lunchtime already. Dang it, what did I get hung up on? No, straight. Come on. Alright, there's that part. Oh, I should have brought him down and done that field, but whatever. Wow, I'm suddenly wicked tired.
Are you?
Yeah, I was fine leading up to me starting my stream, and now all of a sudden it's like, just kicking the teeth.
Wow. I just emptied my recycle bin. I had 300 gigabytes of trash.
Wow, that's impressive.
Well, when you're doing map making, it seems to add up real quick.
Yeah, I mean, this is true.
You get multiple copies and then a lot of times when you're making the folders, you copy the mods to go in there and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm on the hunt for a sheep pen. Nobody seems to have done a good one yet.
Yeah. I got X-Man's cattle barn thing. I just need to pick a time to clean out my other two and replace those two with his one.
Yep.
Where the heck's the train? Probably coming from behind me. There it comes. Still got a migraine from yesterday, too.
Oh, do you?
Yep. Not uncommon for me.
Right.
Heck, at this point, what's a couple more pills?
Right.
I don't have a stomach lining anyway at this point. Well, it's like 2 of those, and 2 of those, and 1 of those, and 2 of those, and 2 of those, and
Yeah.
doesn't take much.
Nope.
I hate trains. Stop. Back up. Alright, so 350,000. No, other way. Damn it. Alright, stop and stay put, please. Quack later. 280. Let's see if that actually works. Oh, that hurt. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Wake up. This should get me to about 210. I need 70k in the next one. To 70. Roughly there. Good morning.
Morning, X-Man.
Nice day outside. I've been outside planting my garden.
Oh, have you?
No, I just gotta wait for the grass to dry to cut it. So it'll be mid-afternoon.
It's been raining most of the night and morning here.
Yeah, we're
No, it
supposed
ain't.
to get thunder showers today here.
No rain for till Tuesday.
Yeah. I hate it when that happens. I think I tweaked something in my finger.
Well, that's not good.
It happens all the time, unfortunately. %96 completed. I needed a little bit more still. Dang it. Ow. Oh, what should I have for lunch?
I don't know. I'm still thinking about breakfast.
I hear that. I had a half a donut. While I'm waiting on the train, let me get up and...
Thinking about making some poached eggs.
Oh god, it's wicked. Pollen's wicked bad again today. Let's see, what's in here? Nada. Oh, I still have half a pizza. Haha. Score. Alright, something to snack on in a little bit.
That's what's nice about pizza. It can be eaten anytime.
Yeah, I forgot I left it in there. I see it's arriving soon. Which direction is the stupid train coming from? Oh, there it is. It's like, what in the heck? It says arriving soon. What the hell is it? Hit me! Hit me! It won't. Dang it. Forward, please. Let's see, I still need a little bit more transportation-wise. What was the contract at? 97? Alright. That should be enough to take care of it. T. Miller wants to know if you're pushing an update on Tuesday there, NBC.
I haven't decided when I'm going to push it. I've got it all done. But it'll be no later than Tuesday, T. Miller. I might push it over the weekend. But I haven't decided yet. Dave told me about 2 last things. I gotta change something on the sawmill, and then one of the icons is bad, but everything else is good to go. I was playing on it last night, so it's error-free.
Still need a smidge more transportation. Gosh dang it. Me, Bodine? I didn't have any issues at all not going bankrupt. Do you have precision farming or anything like that turned on? Silage, yeah, silage helps a lot. Contracts, I do a lot of contracts.
He said do.
Yep.
Oh, I think I found it.
800 missions completed almost. Morning, Farcrow. How are you?
I did.
You did.
I finally found a sheet pen that was freaking what I was looking for.
Nice.
Didn't like mine? Oh, I feel so hurt.
I didn't know you did one. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, you did one with the base game one, right?
Correct.
Yeah, no. I'll be honest with you. The only thing I didn't like about it was where the tip trigger was. Because I use dump
Loose.
trailers
Yeah, loose.
and they kept hitting the roof there.
I use bail, so yep.
Yeah, it's just a matter of preference on that one.
That will do it, Bodine. If you try to push yourself to grow too quickly, you will run out of money pretty fast.
I still have your cow barn in. And the other one.
Yeah, I'm not. I could see the sheep barn, so
I got your chickens in too. Does that make you feel better?
I'm not so hurt now.
Okay, good.
maybe after that photo that was that Big Daddy, I'm still hoping that.
That was awesome, though. You got to give it to Big Daddy. That was pretty good.
that
Well,
was
what do you think?
funny.
I laughed about it.
I know.
That one was pretty good.
Actually, you're going to watch the golf game if they televise it?
Which one?
Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are teaming up to verse Patrick Mahomes and oh God, who else is it? Another NFL quarterback.
Buffalo.
I assumed it was some
Allen.
charity.
Josh
Oh
Allen.
yeah, Josh Allen.
Oh, I hope it's for charity. They don't need any more money.
No, there ain't any of them that need the money.
Oh, what is it that I saw? Brady signed a deal to be an announcer when he retires for something like $350 million or some stupid number.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he can't be any worse than Tony Romo.
Want to bet?
Alright. Pizza's reheating while I wait for the stupid train. I did rent it again. My math is off. So X-Man has a sheep pen too, huh? I have to go grab that one. And chickens, he said.
And pigs until that Iowa comes out with theirs.
Yeah, I'm sorry, X-Man. I'm going to jump over to the Iowa one on pigs. That
Well,
one
so
looks
will
good.
I.
Did you say you did a pig one?
Yeah, the pig one's there too.
Yeah. I still use his cow barn too. I thought he did a good job on it. I like the bigger pasture.
You sure? I see sheep, chickens, cows. Your storages.
At least the pig one?
You did.
Thought I did. If I didn't, I can.
It's not on the website. Maybe you released it just in your stream or something?
No, it had to be on the website. I'll have to release it. I thought I did. That's kind of weird that I didn't.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay.
I swore I did NBC, didn't I? Thought I said I was all done. I could have swore I did.
I think
Oh,
you
well.
said you were done. I don't know if you ever released it though.
Maybe I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, because this morning I went and I updated the decoration pack to
I got the email.
work better with the automated animated objects mod, so that when you drive up to the gate, they'll open and they won't bounce you all over the place while you're in your vehicle. I updated
Yeah, I gotta update
all the
that.
triggers.
God, I wish they'd just come out with the update for the deaf.
All right, seriously, I rented the train. Where in the heck is it? Give me the train. Pretty please. I was waiting for it the first time. I just paid you $100 to rent a train that didn't move anywhere. Perhaps if I snack on that pizza, it will help me wake up some. Pepperoni pizza.
Gotta love this error. Can't load resource texture HUD fill type def on the train.
That's pretty good. Can't load resource def on the train. Huh. I come across a video the other day. It was 30 trains caught on fire or whatever it was.
Yep.
And yeah, you start seeing these locomotives going around and their turbos blow, and there's just a huge pillar of fire coming out the top of the train.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good. I've been on a fail army kick, and one of the ones you see a guy, he's sitting at a railroad crossing, and the train's starting to go through. It's not really going very quickly. It's just going through a
Right.
residential crossing. He goes, well, I don't think we're getting back to doing tree work today. And as soon as he does that, you see the camera pan a little bit to the right, and
Yep.
3 of the big tanker cars roll off the tracks.
Oh, jeez.
And then it yanks off 2 tanker cars in the crossing, and 2 more down beyond that. It's like, yep, you might as well just turn around. You ain't getting across that.
Right.
Just reminded me of that scene from Fast and Furious. Find another way home, pizza boy. Because this ain't it.
Right.
I got a whole bunch of product, too, that I harvested off my own crop that I need to get brought to the flour mill and stuff like that.
Yep.
I just think I need to empty out that silo and change out the silo that's in the yard.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pain the way I've got it set. Are you really going to tell me? Really? Holy cow, come on. That's just complete crud. Like, come on. 99%. Stupid game. So what's that mean? About 95% transported then? It's gonna be a long, quiet day, I think.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope. About another 10,000. We'll call that good then, I guess. Alright, get this emptied while we wait for the stupid train to show back up for the 4th freaking time. Ah! This tractor's not heavy enough for this thing. Alright. Ow. Let's see. Where were we? How's it going there, Aussie Wheels? Are you again gonna do the whole not want to show up thing? Thank you for that hydrate there, Aussie Wheels. I just want to turn in this stupid quest contract thing. Alright. I gotta go top off the stone mills soon. Well, the gold masters, how they looking? Yeah, we'll have to run and top them off at some point. I gotta empty the drywall factory. Alright, hopefully this is the last stinking time I gotta rent this stupid train. Ah! I have not heard of that one there, Aussie Wheels. Hip Creek, huh? Made everything placeables? How about you get bent there, Ninja Star? Friggin' squeeze me? You're friggin' kidding, right? What in the hell?
Are you talking about how much each one holds, Bodine? If so, it's 500,000, and that's total that goes in it.
Yep. At least for now, anyway, till Dave decides to make more storage for his bread.
Right. He has already talked about possibly upping them.
Oh, the one labeled farm storage? I think that's what, eggs and honey and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, I think so too.
Oh, FileZilla is still transferring away. Still has 15,000 files to transfer. Right. Alright, where was I? Oh yeah, I was gonna look that up quick. Wolf Creek. I think it's storage. Storage farm. Eggs, honey, wax, wool, fabric, and clothes. Come on, you stupid train. I'm really getting sick of this contract. It's irritating me now. What did it do, Aussie Wheels? Twitch unfollow me? Yep. Twitch is being, Twitch. Does that all the time. I have no idea why. I didn't get an alert notification, so it's just Twitch being Twitch. That is in-game there, Farcrow. It's actually starting to... the rain is stopping outside, or has stopped outside where I live. Hi, Drake. Yes. You happy now? What? What do you want? Cats. I'm telling you what. Alright, seriously? I rented the train. It's just going to sit there and not actually show up. Alright. That's it. Not doing any more contracts with the stupid train, ever. I should probably go in and double check that. At one point I'd made a change to that so that anything going onto the train didn't have as much of a bonus, so it would stop contracts from going to the train.
Oh, yep.
Basically, I wiped it out so it'd be about the same price as, like, Johnson's Farmer Market or whatever. And
Oh, okay.
by doing so, it meant that when a contract came up, it almost never went to Goldcrest Valley. See, I don't usually have it come through when I'm getting ready to cross the tracks, occasionally. But this part is where it's annoying as heck to try and get it so you're not sending a whole bunch of extra product that you're not going to really get anything for. I'd like to keep some of that potato. That's why I accepted that contract, so I could keep some of the potato and put it into the McCain factory. But it's really annoying with the train to send a little bit until you get right to that limit. It's easy with a regular trigger. You just dump until it says contract complete. In the case of compacting a silo bunker, I know the number of wheels you had used to have an effect on it. I don't know if it still does in 22, but the weight of the vehicle is the biggest factor in that. If you have a really heavy vehicle, it will compact faster. There. Now you're complete, you stupid POS. McCain Factory does fries and stuff like that. Fries and seasoned fries and some of that stuff. Of course, this is not easy to get into the way I placed everything with the... Yeah, so McCain does fries, hash browns, baked potatoes, and seasoned fries. I have the onion and stuff like that for the fries, hash browns, and the baked potatoes. I just don't have the salt right now for the seasoned fries. Excuse me. You see they added something in the last patch? Spawning? I don't know if that was something Giants added or if that's part of that production bit. Excuse me. Pizza was good though. Oh, you stupid tractor. Really? What the hell are you doing wasting all my friggin' money going the wrong goddamn direction? I hate that about the rock picker. That you can literally sit there and set it back off and it might decide it wants to turn in the wrong direction and go the complete opposite way down the field.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case, Aussie Kanga. The new production thing as far as the spawning, distributing, and some of the nomenclature. Alright. This will take care of this field now. At least until I get precision farming put in. There's that part. Oh, that's right, I can't go do that last field with this until I get the bales picked up. Ah, ba 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 ba. How's it going there, not so grumpy? That's good to hear. Well, this'll work out. I had to pick up that. I'll grab that at the same time. Been trying to harvest. Oh, you hate trying to harvest trees for the sawmill? Yeah, that's a bit of a pain. Paul White, how's it going? Thank you for the follow. Welcome into the channel. How you doing today? Paul White, AEW. Oh, come on.
Is that the big show?
What?
Paul White.
No idea.
AEW's wrestling. I mean, it's kind of lining up.
I had no idea AEW was wrestling.
Yep.
I'm doing so-so. Hanging in there. He says it is the big show.
That'd be awesome.
There. Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome back, Scurvy.
Thank you.
Hey, Scurvy, we got the big show in here with us. See, Paul White, AEW.
Hey, Scurvy.
Huh? The
Wrestling.
X-Man. Yeah. I'm
I
not
don't know,
following.
according to NBC.
Huh?
I haven't kept up
Paul
with
White, the
wrestling.
big show.
Yeah, no, he didn't. Did he? Wow. I haven't seen any
What?
news recently.
Well, I don't know. I'm just talking about the guy in chat. His name's Paul White, AEW.
Oh,
And when NBC asked if it's the big show, he says it is the big show.
okay.
But I'll be honest, I haven't paid attention to anything wrestling-wise in at least like a good 15 years.
I haven't paid much attention recently. Too busy with work and other stuff.
Well, welcome in all the same, Paul. Is it alright if I just call you Paul? Because Paul White AEW is a mouthful. Awesome. Well, welcome into the channel. We're just doing a little farming here on Wolf Creek. Gotta go pick up all my straw bales out of the field. Get those taken care of. And then I can get the last field cultivated and rock picked while I wait for... I got what? Two fields and the orchards left.
All right, I'm gonna go grab some food. I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay.
Alright there, NBC. No, why? There we go. Drop that. Mm. How's it going, Buck? You glad I'm back to farming? Yeah. Military Troops 2022, thank you for the follow. Welcome into the channel. How are you doing today? Well, good morning to you as well from the state of Maine. Doing great. Good to hear, Buck. I always miss a spot here and there. You're not farming if you don't miss at least one. I figured. Well, that must be the wife sending me a text message. What does she want? I guess probably more pictures of my kids eating, because that's all she ever seems to send me pictures of. Nope, she sent me a picture of the kids from like 300 feet away, so they're ants on the screen. I can understand what those pictures are. I am working on Wolf Creek. It's a 4X map made by Dajnet of the SGA Sim Game Alliance community. 4X version of Wolf Creek. Heavily on the production side of things, but there we go. Alright, unload bales. I don't want to unload them right there. I want them off to the side. That was cute. Huh. You won't let me mouse over to the side. Interesting.
That's kind of odd.
Yeah. Key bindings.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not letting me side shift the bales. Why not? Why won't you let me side shift the bales?
Didn't download any mods for the game, did you?
No, on my
Okay.
I keep a copy of my input bindings on the desktop, so when it does
So do I.
when it does screw up, I can just throw it over the top.
Yep, so do I. Lesson learned.
But for whatever reason, when I hit unload bales, it's not letting me side shift the... Oh, because this tractor has a freaking window that opens.
Yep.
See the window?
Well, that explains some things, Lucy.
Yep. Alright, we'll leave that one there then, and we'll get a different tractor. Hopefully one of my other tractors will work. You are fired! Oh, I need to go take a nap. It's gonna be one of those days.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to be able to open the rear window, but what purpose does it really serve? So I agree. Like, what's...
Nothing.
Why? You're just wasting controls on that so that it causes an issue with
Something else.
something else.
Yep.
I mean, good for you. You made it so we can open an extra window. Why? Come on. Let me in. This one might not work either because it's got a door that opens. Ah. Wake up. I was hoping some caffeine and a little bit of food would help me wake up, but apparently not.
I don't think you have big enough tires on that thing.
Oh, well, they've got bigger ones.
Do they really?
Yep. Yeah, they have a set that's actually wider. Yeah, gotta get the floaters out for the anti-compaction bit that doesn't really count. Because Vigigame.
Yep.
Hey, at least this one works. Oh, come on, really? At least I can shift it off to the side and drop them on the ground. That's all that matters.
Yep.
I can't go up and down with them. It really depends, Farcrow, on the different tire sizes. Narrow work. Twin narrows typically will work. I want to say, what was it? Large. It's back this way somewhere. 7R. Those actually count as a care tire, believe it or not. The twin narrows on the 8R actually count as a care tire. No, I didn't actually do that this morning. I was working on some of the, I was working on a mod update for this morning, so I just kept playing it. Really? Round and around I go, I miss. Yeah, this morning I updated the decoration pack to include the larger triggers for when you're using the advanced automated or the automated objects for the gates and stuff. I think I need to go take a nap. Jesus. It's the weather. It's gotta be the weather.
Weather. Yep.
Well, 4.5 hours of sleep doesn't help either.
Yeah, that doesn't help much. I'm tired too. I streamed this morning too, so I'm tired
What
as well.
time did you stream?
Like 3 to, or like
Oh.
4, just to about 7. And then I worked out, had
I
breakfast.
was gonna say, because I was on earlier and I didn't see anybody, so.
Yep, I rated, T Miller rated into me. I rated into the average Viking, I think. Yeah, average Viking this morning.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's an animated objects mod you can get now
From
that
Thunder,
will...
right?
What?
From Thunder? Doesn't he have that one? Or am I thinking of another one of his mods?
I think you're thinking of another one of his mods.
Okay, never mind then.
This one's actually on the in-game mod hub, as a matter of fact.
Never mind then. Yep.
It allows you to automate any animated objects as long as you get within their trigger box to like open a door or something like that. It can animate it. And the problem was the decoration pack, the triggers were short enough that when you tried to open the gates from one side with a piece of equipment, the gate would hit you, push you out of the trigger, and then close. So I adjusted those points for the decoration pack. So, did you get a chance to watch any of the Everyday Astronaut Elon interviews recently, Scurvy?
No, literally my YouTube time has been the trial.
Because the part that dropped last Thursday, they went up to the second to the top deck in the launch tower.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, what a view.
I bet. I bet.
You see ship 20 over on the over by the test stands, and it looks small. You actually see little dots walking around that are people. They look like ants. It's like, that's pretty nuts. Yeah, he's got one more of a 3-part series as far as showing or finishing the interview with Elon, but this will be the second time he's done it because he did one about a year ago.
Oh, neat.
And yeah, Tim Dodd from Everyday Astronaut, he knows his rocketry stuff, so he actually gets into really like in-depth conversations with Elon at times too about, well, why did you choose this? Why didn't you go this way? And things like that. It's like, wow. Alright, drop that stupid trailer there. Put that there. The Volvo 350 works best. Ah, there you go there, Vito. Yeah, let's see. Here.
Hi, it's me, Tim.
There you go. How's that?
Oh, wow. Yep.
It's hazy. You can't even see South Padre Island. But you get to come around the side of this, and then there's ship 20. It looks small from up there.
Oh, yeah. It does.
They're, what, 139 meters up, I think is what they said.
That's a few foot. Just a few foot.
Yep. Well, the actual top of the tower is 469 feet, and that's
Mm.
just above them. So yeah, they're 143 meters for the total height of the tower, which is the last section is just up above their heads. Because
Yep.
here you can see this is one of the cables that goes up and comes back down for the arms. Yeah,
Hello.
it's pretty cool watching
Hello.
uh watching them.
What's going on there,
I
Dave?
mean, how's that for a view, Scurvy?
Yeah, I was.
Base of the
That's
tower looking up. How massive does that tower
is that
look?
the? Yeah,
Because later in the video you see them. They're right underneath this scaffolding here.
that's pretty big.
Oh,
Yeah,
good morning, everyone.
yeah, it's pretty cool. And the SpaceX crane and everything. They literally just
Yes.
walk right around the facility, and you get to see pretty close everything going on. It's kind of cool.
Indeed.
Does
How you
running
doing over there
FS
this
on a
morning, Dave?
server make your local computer
Doing
respond
good.
better? Not really, Farcrow, because you still need to have the processing power for it. And then you also introduce the latency of the server. Do you guys know if it's possible to use the mini-map improvements of Precision Farming mod without activating? I would say
No.
probably not there, Machini.
Nope.
How's Dave this morning?
Waking up. Restarting. Computer. Apparently power went out.
Ah.
While I was sleeping.
Yeah, I woke up and immediately went into doing my update of my BIOS this morning and doing a bunch of other stuff. I updated the placeable decorations pack to work with the animated objects mod. You there, X-Man? Not so grumpy had a question for you.
I don't think he's here.
Apparently not.
No, looks
X-Man
like he stepped
has
away.
left the building.
Yep.
How's it going, Wheels?
Hey, Wheel.
You can always mess around with
Yeah, I mean, you're always
stuff for
welcome to
your
mess
own.
around with stuff, just don't release it.
Exactly. Your own use. You can mess around with whatever you want.
Indeed. Yeah, well, it's around noontime, so I'm not too surprised, Farcrow. Well, most of the SGA team is either Eastern or Central. So. Keyword most. Your Mountain Standard? Gotcha. nothing better to do when retired. Yeah, I can understand that. You take straw, thought. Huh. Weird.
Huh. Yes, yes.
Well, that part isn't fun there, Far Crow. Ew. Okay, there we go. The tension belts were getting in the way. We won't tell her you said that. Your secret's safe with us, Far Crow.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so I had a weird, interesting thing happen with the government building last night, Dave.
Yeah. Shut down.
No. I had about 26,000 power stored, because I've been storing it for a while. You know, a couple of diesel generators and all that stuff. Haven't really been using it much, so it's been storing. And then I only had maybe 15 or 20 labor, not much, because I've been trying to get more houses added in to catch up with um, changes to production throughputs and stuff like that. And then I had some community support and some morale type support. And I went to like a 120 speed to just try and get through the night into harvest time.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've got 65,000 power stored, and the morale, community, and labor are maxed at 10 kps.
What did you do?
I have no idea.
Now, the formula's changed drastically, but
Well, I was having a hard time keeping up with labor. I placed 3 of the small houses that do like 3, 3, and 6 for labor.
mm-hmm.
And suddenly came up with, now I've got 10,000 labor stored.
That's but I will say that the way the boosts work now, you're only using half of what you used to. So depending on how much stuff it is possible.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have gained 30,000 power overnight with just 2 diesel generators, a couple of solar panels, and a couple of wind farms.
Nah, you shouldn't have got that much.
Like I said, 64 and a half, 10, 9,800, 9,900 basically. I don't have that much stuff coming in, so it's like all of a sudden, where did all of that come from? All I had done was I set the time speed to like 120 to fast forward, and came back and, that doesn't look right. It's like, I won't complain. I don't know what caused it, but I won't complain.
Yeah, I don't have that problem.
Like I said, I've been experiencing a labor shortage because I only had like maybe 8 to 15 at any given time set in the government building waiting to be distributed.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden it's like I've got 10,000 of it. Okay. The bug worked in my favor. I'll take it, I guess.
Morning, Dave.
Morning.
Just thinking we need to add a sweatshop mod to be able to sell labor and morale. Call it a Chinese sweatshop, then they make shoes or something.
I heard Dave, you got to talk to the production guy yesterday.
Yeah. Stopped in the stream. Raven. I got actually a copy of the next version. Well, the current, what he's been working on. A couple new things.
Absolutely, Farcrow. It's clearly a bug of some kind, but I won't complain too much because it worked in my favor this time.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. That's a lot. Now, I could see it happening in some cases, depending on how much you got going on your map. But you would have to have a lot of that.
Yeah, well, and that's just it. It's like I don't have anywhere
how
near
much?
that
Wait a
kind
minute.
of stuff.
But how much of the biofuel generator have you been using? Because that has been increased dramatically, and I see you're filling it with bales.
This is like the first time I've really done anything with it. I
How
had
many
some
houses?
bales in it.
How many
and then
houses?
as far as houses go, I've got a cluster of, like I said, 5 of them up here. So that's what, 2, 6, 12, or 14, 17 labor up there. 19 labor. 25, 27, 33, 39, 45, 47, 49, 52 total labor. Well, part of the thing, Tim, is I haven't finished it. I've got to do a whole lot of XML to fix one of the issues with the truck. It works for me at the moment because I know the workaround, but it means I need to rewrite probably a third of the XML file. And I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. So I gotta redo the entire configuration section of it. Change how it's all done. I was looking at it a little bit last night, but my brain was not in the XML mood. Excuse me. Ugh. Wake up.
Yeah. I wish I could get a boost power. I had to put another. I put my first diesel generator down last night.
Yeah, I've had two for a while.
They
Just,
do create.
giving them a little bit of diesel here and there. Well, and that's why I had like 26,000 in storage. I had been well ahead of that. My labor wasn't keeping up, which is why I added a couple of houses. But then I just went to changing the speed from times 5 to 120 to pass through the day quicker without just sleeping through.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked at it this morning, I was like, when in the heck did it go to that kind of a value? Because I shouldn't be anywhere near that.
They produced.
Oh well.
They do produce 100 per hour. 24,000 should only be 48,000 most, if nothing running. Is those? Is that how many? How much did you say you're up to on power?
65,000 stored.
How much was in there before you fast forwarded? It's possible.
26,000.
Well, it created it. It's
Yeah.
actually under now. How much was being used?
I'd have
Are
to
your
look at all my
factories
other
all
factories.
running?
A lot
I
of them
mean,
are, yeah.
because that's those two things. And how many day seasons are you using?
3-day seasons.
Ooh, and that should be a lot less if you only went one day fast forward. But they do create a single day they would create 48,000 unless they change. But
Yeah.
I will say that the biodiesel stuff too, that adds power. I've been running my whole thing just on the biodiesel generator.
Yeah, because I mean,
I mean,
I just put down the bioheating yesterday, and I put some wood in it that I had kicking around from clearing a spot for it.
yeah.
I don't think I brought any bales up there yesterday.
Well, if you filled it with wood or wood chips or anything, then
No,
you,
not even close. I
because I
might
fill mine every day and it's been powering my whole place with wood chips and bales usually. But now it's
I
not
put
enough.
probably 50,000 wood chip in it and no bales. Wood, I don't think I actually put any wood in the biodiesel.
Right. Now, if you were balancing and you had enough power before, remember, literally with the new changes and cutting off the boost lines, you're cutting half of the power usage that your whole thing was using before.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, theoretically in
And,
that regard, but like I said, I
yeah,
had barely any labor, which is why I added houses, because it wasn't really
yeah,
stockpiling much labor. And the houses I added, it's not like I added a bunch of apartment buildings. They were cheaper houses, smaller.
great.
And suddenly now I've got 10,000 labor stored.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I have no, I have
I
not been
have
able to catch up
10,000
with my labor.
community and 10,000 morale stored, and it's like, I know I didn't have near that.
What do you have for morale buildings creating?
I have. Let's see.
You got one good one, and you're gonna fill your morale. Well, or support and support buildings.
So I know I've got the fire station, I believe.
All right, so fire station automatically adds a multiplier now instead to your RF. So you'd need one other
Um,
to your
I've got the toy
support anyway.
store for entertainment. I also have. Once I get past all these stupid greenhouses. Where is it? I got the baseball stadium, the grocery,
Oh my gosh,
the
baseball!
firehouse.
Yeah, the way those have changed, you're getting a multiplier with the firehouse on your uh grocery store. So that's why you got a big boost there. And the baseball stadium produces the most. Yeah, I could see those being maxed out now with the new formula because you're using half the morale. Plus, the baseball stadium's one of the biggest producers of it. I could
Ah,
see those. I could see those getting maxed out very easily at your stage
just when
if you
I'm
have
playing Far Cry, I don't let it run when I'm not playing.
because the way the formulas change, you're using so much less of the morale. But if you don't have the big factor, I mean, it has changed quite a bit the way the morale produces. The baseball stadium is actually the one that makes the most and probably will do most of your small factor now until you get into the tier 3 stuff. And with the fire station and the grocery store, the fire station now does a multiplier on community support.
Ah,
It's a multiplier, so it doesn't take much, but it multiplies your support and doubles it as long as the points are available.
gotcha.
And seeing as you have the grocery store, in yeah, you're getting quite a bit.
Like I said, I haven't done the math to see like how much I'm using or any of that stuff. It just
Yeah,
shocked me that suddenly the labor even pinned at 10,000. Like, there's no way I should have been able to make that kind of
yeah.
labor by fast
Well,
forwarding time a little bit.
I don't know. Yeah, fast forwarding. I don't know. It depends what the productions are still doing too. Who am I blocking today?
Multiplayer up on a dedicated server. You can set it to run that way, Far Cry, but it doesn't have to. You can set it to only run when there's people on the server. I mean, you could also set it so that it stays on, but you just manually shut it off when you don't want to be on, when you don't want it up. There's a lot of different ways you can do that. But I will be back in just a minute. I gotta go use the little boy's room,
You
and I'll
got
be
a
right back.
treat for me. What is this thing? It already. Hmm.
I'm back. Whew.
Welcome back.
EGS server update. Other than it's up, I haven't done much with it. I was on there earlier checking things out, making sure things were still working, and I was pulling a backup that's still transferring files. And Jakey7907, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. How are you doing today? Alright. I run a strip down this edge of the field. We'll run a set the worker off on the other edge, and that should give him plenty of leeway to not jump into my cornfield. Actually, I think I'll go up, come back down, and then set him off across the bottom going up the field. I'm doing alright, Jakey. A little tired. Probably gonna lay down here in a bit and take a nap.
Well, wake up.
I've been trying. I've had lunch. I've been drinking
Oh, thanks.
caffeinated sodas and stuff, and nothing's waking me up. Lack of sleep.
Now, if only it wasn't a John Deere.
Oh, the sprayer that Mika sent?
I'll give it a whirl. I was looking for one that did the spot spray that was
Does that one do the spot spray, though, or does it just spray?
No, it has the spot spray technology built into that sprayer, which is what I was looking for. Something that was... I like the self-propelled sprayers. But
Yeah.
Nobody had one that was had the spot spray technology. And that one does.
Yeah, I've got one of the 4940 John Deeres. I don't know who made it. I don't know if it's got the spot spray or not. You know how that is. People tend to shotgun it around, add things, subtract things, whatever, and try to claim it's their mod.
Nobody would do that.
Never. How you doing, Miss?
Not too bad. How about you?
No, I'm not waiting for the rain to... Had apparently a little bit of a I know it was thundering last night, but I had no idea my power went out.
Oh, did it?
At some point it did. I must have been sleeping well. I heard it turn back on sometime this morning. Like, you know, it's funny how it can go off and I didn't notice. But once everything fires up in the morning,
Oh, yeah.
when it clicks back on, it's like it puts a...
I actually got to call the power company and the cable company on Tuesday. Bees created a nest up underneath the eaves there, and it cracked one of the boards. And one of the last storms we had, when the tree came down, it jostled my service line going into the house. Well, now it pulled out, so they got to come up and reconnect that.
It's no fun.
Yeah.
Right?
So...
Yeah, that no fun.
Nope.
Northwest Mods and Edits. I don't think I've ever heard of them.
That's because you're from the Northeast.
Probably.
Now that was the sawmill that was built into the game, right? That had to boost it on both,
Um,
or was it the mod?
yeah, the mod might too. I just haven't checked it. If I removed it, but it definitely the one built it. It had the morale on both. One was a boost. The one that wasn't a boost has to line kicking. It's the
Excuse
little
me.
thing. Oh,
Yeah,
right.
unfortunately, I'm just like completely exhausted right now, so my brain is just like shut down. Normally, I'd be a little more involved and chatty and talkative, but right now, my brain is toast-a-rooney. But at the same time, it is farm sim. It's not like you're gonna really get that
Oh, I see what you're
crazy.
saying. So just take the whole morale line off the normal one.
Or yeah, leave the boost line. But
Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes sense. I looked last night. And I must have been tired because I'm like, I'm dumb.
It happens.
Channel.
All right. So that one's fixed. I got one more thing to fix.
One more thing. It's always
The
one more.
Yeah, the icon.
Oh, that's easy. Copy paste. Sugar.
Yep.
It's in the productions folder.
Need to figure out what I want to plant in these fields next year. These are all the orchards here. Probably wipe these out after the season because I'm not going to want to deal with them.
Actually, I got one more thing to fix too.
That'll be a good spot for me to put all my
But
not storages. What's the word I'm looking for?
the pickle factory is in category and has the wrong. Just
Eh. Hey Dave, question. This
Yeah.
road here, did you make this sellable? The one that kind of cuts across through here?
I don't think you
that.
need it.
No.
No, not that one.
Nope.
Okay. I mean, you don't need it. That's why I thought you might have made a way of getting rid of it, but
I'm pretty sure it's connected to the whole farm section back behind there, and that's why we didn't move it.
all right. Yeah, no, I figured you might have had a reason if you didn't. I just wasn't sure if it was like I had to own a specific piece of property or something like that.
Nope. It's there.
Roger that.
But if you're very good, you can go right over with the screen.
Or you could spend 15 hours with Terrafarm and do it that way too.
Mm-hmm. 15 hours.
Mhm.
Time it.
No, I just cheat. I don't use Terrafarm. I actually finally took it out this morning. I've had it in there forever, but I've never used it. So
Yeah, I still use it. I don't know how much I'm gonna be using it moving forward, so I might end up taking it out.
yep.
It's just nice to have for some of the areas that you can't necessarily fix because it's too close to a building edge or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
it is nice for those situations. $38 and 53. 53. 38. So I'd go up over, hit that one, and hit that one. Nope. Not gonna bother. What is gonna happen though is we're gonna go raid Mr. Not So Grumpy Dwarf. And then I'm gonna go take a nap because I am suddenly extremely exhausted and I don't feel like falling asleep on you guys and putting you through that. So I do appreciate everybody coming and hanging out with me briefly this morning. Once I get rested up, maybe I'll stream again later on this evening or something, depending on how everybody looks schedule-wise. Until then, you guys take it easy. Thank you, Scurvy, and of course, Mr. Big Vito for those subs earlier, the tier 1 subs, and of course, thank you guys for the follows. Ooh, excuse me. Raid, not so. Make sure I get this right. Underscore Grumpy Dwarf. Not Darf. Dwarf. Not so underscore Grumpy Dwarf. Should have the right symbol. It's got the right symbol. Perfect. Alright. Again, thank you all for coming and hanging out. I appreciate it, as always. Till next time, you guys stay safe. Be kind to one another. And we will catch you in the next one.
See you later.
Later.